moderators. So I'm live. I'm just trying to see how this thing goes. As you can see, this this screen is pretty bad. I wasn't sure what I would do for this live, so I just picked up my handy Bible. Figured we'd just go through. See, the thing is like, I've never went live on YouTube before, but I'm assuming that people like say things if somebody's on. So otherwise I would flip the screen. The other reason was, for the live, one of the things I really want to do is when I get my hands finally on an author copy of my book, Prophet of God, I want to actually read it on live because you don't have a limit, I think, on how long the live can be. So I wanted to like read the book and then have it archived. I was doing a little reading before I tapped the live button here, and it said something about some kind of cap, like so many subscribers, and I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, like I don't know all this stuff, like this technology stuff. I basically am a cave person when it comes to stuff like that. But what I wanted to do, my idea was to read the book, like chapter, however long, like I don't know, like half hour would be, however many chapters, and then just have it be archived. And then what it did say though was that when the live is over, YouTube will automatically privatize or make your live thing private. So I'd have to go back and like make it available, I guess, or something. So this was more or less like a pilot live to see just how it works, how things work. I also don't have the greatest setup, but like I said, if it's all blurry and fuzzy, you don't need to see my face anyway, but if it's all blurry and fuzzy, it's because the phone is cracked. I'm working on it, getting on a new screen, new phone, etc. But yeah, I'm just gonna like, I guess like read through stuff in the Bible, old reliable, and then feel free to like say things, and I'll try like from this distance, I'll try to see what happens like with the writing and stuff, because I'm absolutely new to all this on YouTube. So yeah. But thanks for joining. And I'm reclining so far back I'm basically laying down. The few shorts that I did recently were covering the book of Job. In the Bible, I tend to use the King James Version. It's so weird, like not being limited by it, because I'm so used to like clicking 3 minutes or whatever, because I can actually explain things now. One of the reasons I use the King James Version of the Bible is not necessarily because of its literary superiority or anything. Like, the truth is, the King James was created, compiled, put together with a lot more limited resources than there are now. And it is not my favorite version of the Bible. That would have to be the New Revised Standard Version. I think it's called the annotated version of the Bible. But that definitely has footnotes that are enormously helpful. Has like a lot of like, what do you call it? Epilogues and attachments at the end that give a lot of really cool like historical insight and all kinds of stuff. But the reason that I tend to stick with the King James Version is basically proximity and time. Well, that and like poetic quality. That would be like the main reasons. It's like originality. It's not for any kind of rational reason, in other words, is what I'm saying. But like I said, if you want to like ask something or whatever, I'm just gonna like read, I guess, see how this goes. Tell me how it looks if you feel like it. Tell me what I can improve, what I should do. Like if you can actually hear me or if this is muted. Because I'm clueless just sitting here. But the shorts that I was doing recently were on the book of Job in the Bible. And Job, well, we're way back in Chronicles. Job is an Old Testament book. Well, it's a Tanakh book. I try not to say Old Testament because that's Christocentric, meaning the actual like book in Judaism is known as the Tanakh, and I try to not be like, because old implies like inferior and all that. But so anyway, the book of Job is just replete with all kinds of stuff. I actually read through the entire Bible, Genesis to Revelation. I think it took me about 2 months. The King James Version. I gotta admit, that was some of the hardest reading I've ever read in my life. I thought Shakespeare was hard. But surprisingly, I think I got like the hang of it after Exodus or whatever. But I read through the whole thing, and then throughout the whole thing, I took the time as I was reading it to highlight specific things, more or less keeping note. Things that stood out, things that were particularly applicable. The thing is if we choose to believe, which I do, in a universal God, in a universal divine presence, power, whatever you want to call it. Oh shit, I just got a text. Sorry. Sorry if I swear and that offends people too. Like, I'm working on it. What was I saying? So anyway, the book of Job. I would go through what I was trying to say just now. God help me. Is that if we truly believe in a universal God, a universal power, if you believe in divine power at all, anything transcendental that transcends the physical world, then the following assumption I would assume myself to be, oh, hey, Ace, how are you? Andres. Is that how that works? Well, how do I, like, say hi? I guess I'll just say hi, like, verbally. But a universal God would be present in universally, meaning not limited necessarily to specific books, specific traditions. So that's why, if you've ever seen my videos, I kind of jump around scriptures. The Bhagavad Gita, the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran. My figuring is that a universal God would be universally present. So that's what I was trying to get out just now. What's going on? Feel free to like tell me how you're doing and stuff too. I don't want this just to be like a one-way preaching. You know, this is like a preaching channel. But I just figured the Bible's like 1,400 pages long, so it'd be easy just to like land on stuff. But the book of Job, like I was saying, is like super highlighted. You can't see that, but it's super highlighted. Literally like every other verse. And that's that way with other books in the Bible as well. That there's so much richness. And as a summary, if you don't know already, forgive me if you already know, Job was basically this guy that lived super righteously, according to the Bible. I believe in the Chaldean, doesn't matter, Mesopotamia somewhere. But he oh, thanks, Andreas. Is it Andreas? Job was super righteous, all this. He had everything going for him. He had a wife, bunch of kids, bunch of herds of cattle, goats. Basically, for that time period, he was like super well off. And the book of Job is weird in the Bible because it actually, it gives, I think it's the first book that gives a dialogue between Satan and God. Literally. Like, it's not metaphorical. It describes Satan and God actually having a conversation, like in the other realms, regarding Job down on earth in his life. And in a sense, Satan and God make a bet. And Satan is like, hey, this Job guy, he's really devoted to you, really righteous guy. That's because you treat him so well. He has all these things. He has all these nice things. He has no reason. Nothing's challenging his faith in you. So what ends up happening is literally it's written that God says, hey, okay, I see what you're saying, Satan. You can have power over Job's entire life. You just can't kill him. You can have power over his assets, over his house, all that. It's wild. Like, and it's really the first one you run into of the kind in the book. I appreciate it, Andreas. So I figured I'd just like read from the book of Job, run across highlighted parts and talk about it, and then talk to you people if you so choose. And again, I apologize for like the quality of this. I'm working on it. I don't even know where to begin. Basically, it describes Satan and God talking about Job. Chapter 3, verse 20. Wherefore is light given to him that is in misery, and life unto the bitter in the soul, which long for death, but it cometh not, and dig for it more than for hid treasures. So that gives you like a picture of how miserable Job became because this guy lost everything. And he was tested. I mean, it's a classic sort of sentiment that we hear about a lot, like the patience of Job and whatever. Shall mortal man be more just than God? Shall a man be more pure than his maker? These are just anecdotes that I'm reading off for now. Behold, thou hast instructed many, and thou hast strengthened the weak hands. Thy words have upholden him that was falling, and thou hast strengthened the feeble knees. But now it is come upon thee, and thou faintest. It toucheth thee, and thou art troubled. Kind of going off what I was saying in one of my shorts, like on YouTube. Hold up. Is it nighttime for me? Is it nighttime? It's nighttime here, too. Yeah, I'm not sure what the time is, but it is night. One of the takeaways from Job for me that I drew from it the lesson is that God is always in control. And that lesson can be both reassuring and frightening at the same time. But I tend to think of it more reassuring. Reassuring in the sense that God being in control means that we can rest our assurance and our faith that everything will be okay no matter what faces us. So you can draw a reassurance from that. But it's frightening in the sense that when things go awry, when things go badly, it's hard to picture a good God being in control. And then it makes you begin to question the motive behind the will of God, whether there is one, or even whether there's a God. And that can like go into like this deep rabbit hole of faithlessness. No, that's just a lamp, Andreas. It's this really bright like lamp. I wish the sun was out. It's very dark here. I was initially gonna do my live earlier, like outside, so that it was like literally in the sun. But I had to do a bunch of stuff today. So now I'm here. But yeah, that thing about Job, thy words have upholden him, and when he was falling, and thou hast strengthened the feeble knees. Basically, God, you strengthened my knees, you gave me all this strength, all this wealth, all this whatever. But then in the following verse, it says that God took all that away. So the lesson that take home is that God is in control. It's really a lesson in pride and humility type of thing. And that's pretty much the theme of the entire book of Job. You know, looking at it now, I can't recall if it actually ever gets better for Job. I know that's really sad to say. I think it does. But there's a lot of really like deep, remorseful, reflective, inflective thinking throughout this book. And that's why I like highlighted it so much. Yet man is born unto trouble, as the sparks fly upward. That's chapter 5, verse 7. It's kind of like the same as saying life is unfair. Like if you're here, then it's unfair. Automatically. It's a granted. That's probably why I highlighted that part. I asked, yo, you accidentally turned your phone off? You don't have to be sorry. We're just chilling. I appreciate you telling me. Behold, happy is the man whom God correcteth, therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. I think I did that on one of the videos I made before. That's in chapter 5 of Job 2. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. I thought that was a cool line. In league with the stones of the field. That's why I love the King James Version. It's so poetic. Even if it's literary nonsense in some parts, like even if it's not technically, academically the most accurate, the King James Version still, I think, holds the championship of being the most poetic. Because poetry is interesting in that you can just draw from it what you want. Like, you're kind of the author too. One person can read a poem or a poetic writing at all and glean from it what they want, and another person can write or can draw something completely different from it. That's what the beauty of it is. Yeah, you hear me? So that's another reason why I use the King James. It's not that I don't use the other versions, but anyway, I'm just reading random verses and then just going off. I'm not sure how long the book of Job is. I think it's like, wow, it's like 20 chapters. Teach me, and I will hold my tongue, and cause me to understand wherein I have erred. Basically, Job is pleading to God, like, teach me, show me where I went wrong in all the path behind me in my life, all these things that I did, the moments that I had, the choices that I had. Tell me where I went wrong. He's pleading with God to be granted that reflective wisdom. Chapter 7, as the cloud is consumed and vanished away, so he that goeth down to the grave shall come up no more. I put that one as a highlight because the first line, really. As the cloud is consumed and vanisheth away. Job also touches on the temporal nature of this world, and as such is a kind of lesson in humility. Again, that you shouldn't become so attached to the fleeting, but remain attached to the eternal, which we assume to be God. It's your birthday in a couple days. Happy birthday. That's really cool. I hope you get a lot of presents. And a lot of Job is complaining too. Like, if you ever read it. And he really gets into the complaining part. See, this is so cool. Like, I've been going on 23 minutes. I'm not limited by 3-minute shorts anymore. Inshallah. Like, I hope this actually works. Yeah, I hope so too. It's just that, like, the phones over here, like, are so expensive. The reason this phone is cracked, it used to have a really nice, like, front screen, but I dropped a boulder on it at work. I dropped a big old rock on it. I'm lucky it even works at all. But yeah, for stuff like this, it just doesn't, because I could flip the camera over, but then I wouldn't be able to see the screen. So I don't know, like, what I'm gonna do for, like, the audiobook live, because I actually researched a little bit and it said like, my idea was to do the live for the audiobook reading, and then to just put a picture instead of my face or whatever. Just put a picture of my book like on the screen and just have the voice. But it said you can't do that unless you have like an advanced software and all this. And I'm like, but I'll figure it out. Repentance and forgiveness. If thou prepare thine heart and stretch out thine hands toward him, if iniquity be in thine hand, put it far away, and let not wickedness dwell in thy tabernacles. For then shalt thou lift up thy face without spot, yea, thou shalt be steadfast and shalt not fear, because thou shalt forget thy misery and remember it as waters that pass away. I'm trying to absorb that. It's good that you can hear me. I'm happy to hear, because I was a little worried that the audio or some crap wouldn't work. Preparing thine heart. It's interesting. The reason I highlighted that part, if thou prepare thine heart and stretch out thine hands toward him, meaning God, thou shalt, I'm kind of paraphrasing, thou shalt forget thy misery and remember it as waters that pass away. It's almost like, it's almost telling me, when you prepare your heart toward God, you forget your misery because your focus isn't laying inward only. You're looking outward. It's like an awareness thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what faith is in a lot of ways. Awareness. There are so many parts in the Bible and in other holy scriptures that talk about faith being like awareness. It's not just about holding belief or holding this or that rule. In thine age shall be clearer than the noonday. Thou shalt shine forth, thou shalt be as the morning. I just thought that was beautiful. Like that line. Thine age shall be clearer than noonday. Thou shalt shine forth, thou shalt be as the morning. Morning, like fresh, new opportunity. When you forget your misery, everything sort of becomes renewed in faith. Because faith is infinite and free. You don't have to pay for it. I'll put it this way. It seems as if you pay for it, and the world will make you feel like you pay for it. But faith is free in the sense that you're entitled to it, no matter where you are or what your circumstances are. Oh, sorry, Andreas. What phone do you have? It's some kind of Samsung. It's an Android. It's not an iPhone. Whatever the other one is. Whatever iPhone is not. It's Samsung something. But yeah, it's a piece of junk. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. Job chapter 12, verse 16. The deceiver and the deceived are his. Interesting. Because what does God own? What would an all-powerful being own? Everything. Like, that's like what it speaks to me. Moving on. Chapter 13 of Job. Your remembrances are like unto ashes, your bodies to bodies of clay. Hold your peace, let me alone, that I may speak, and let come to me what will. Wherefore do I take my flesh in my teeth, and put my life in mine hand? Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him. This is, I think, one of Job's friends. Powers for sure, yeah. One of Job's friends talking to him. Because in the book, he's like complaining to his friends, and they're trying to like encourage him, and it really is a powerful book in the Bible. Like, I was surprised at what I found in it. Oh, here's a cool one. Chapter 4, verse 19. The waters wear the stones. Thou washest away the things which grow out of the dust of the earth, and thou destroyest the hope of man. It sounds like a downer, and it is in a sense, but it's basically to say that God is in control. You're 7? So you'll be 8 on your birthday or whatever? That's cool. I don't even remember when I was 8. That was ages ago. I can't tell if this part is highlighted or not. This light is terrible. Hang on. You see how bright that is? Save. That's good. The hell is that? This is like a section that I didn't do a lot of highlighting in. Hunger bitten. That was the King James Version has so many weird words in it, like hunger bitten. I've never heard that word before. But it's Old English. So that noise, is that what it says? Yeah, there's cats. The cat was playing with their toy. More of Job complaining. Vexing of the soul. Oh, that's okay, man. The spirit of my understanding causeth me to answer. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? So again, if you're like doing bad things and you're a hypocrite, whatever joy you have from that kind of life is temporary. It's also in the book of Job. Right. I'm sorry, I'm so new to this. I'm trying to figure out what these buttons mean. There's a microphone, and then there's like a weird looking icon. I don't know. I don't want to like mess it up by trying to tap something here. Lighting. Hide live video. What does that mean? It's already been 34 minutes. Are you kidding me? Could you, in theory, just do live forever? I'm just asking. I don't know if any of y'all know. Just like set it here and just just be like 5 hours. Oh my god, really? Nugs money. I'm not sure I comprehend. Some buttons do that. Yeah, I don't know. I won't hit any red ones then. I'm trying to figure out if the Book of Job ever ends up nice. Like, if it ends up like a good ending or whatever. He gets all his stuff back or whatever that God or Satan took from him. Yeah, I'll have to like look at the buttons like later, and one of them has like a, because I'm basically like technologically illiterate. Like I'm old. I barely know what YouTube it is. If I'm being real. I just work outside and build walls, and I think the cat's scratching at the wall or something. But yeah, anyway. When I looked for good, then evil came unto me, and when I waited for light, there came darkness. Here he is complaining again. Half the book of Job is complaining. So you're a construction worker? Yes, more or less. I took a hiatus. I took a break for a minute. But yeah, I do outdoor construction, build walls, patios. I've been doing it about 6 or 7 years ish. It's a lot of fun. Demolition, stuff like that. I put on righteousness and it clothed me. I don't know why that's highlighted. So now he's like confessing and stuff. I see what's going on here. Let us know among ourselves what is good. Who hath given him a charge over the earth, and who hath disposed of the whole world? What is man like Job, who drinketh up, scorning like water? To be honest, I'm just guessing because these have my bones. Yeah, it's construction. It's outdoor construction, basically. I'm not like carpenter or an indoor guy. There's a lot of like people that build like houses and stuff, but I do all my stuff outside, like retaining walls and building blocks and stuff. It's a lot of fun. I really, really wish I would have gotten into it much younger, because I could have went further with it. I didn't start outdoor construction or landscaping until like 27. I don't know. 26. But when you get into it early, you learn all the tricks of the trade, and then you're there. Like when you get a job someday, like just try out a bunch of stuff, and then when you find something you like, try to stick with it even when it gets hard. YouTube, TikTok. Yeah, I don't know anything about TikTok, honestly. I've heard of it for sure. But I actually tried making a TikTok, and I'll try again when I get a new phone, because like I'm trying to promote my book and everything, but TikTok is like a big thing. It's a big asset to have. But for now, this is what I'm working with. Let's see. Chapter 40? Are you kidding me? I didn't know it was this long. Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine, and I will conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely proportion. Who can discover the face of his garment, or who can come to him with a double bridle? Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. His scales are his pride, shut together as those close a seal. One is so near to another that air can come between them. They are joined one to another. They stick together, and they cannot be sundered. By his neesings, that's another word that's Old English. Sure, if you want to. It's up to you, man. I don't know what these cats, are they hungry or something? They're like surrounding me. Oh, it's talking about Leviathan. I see. Well, that's good, Andreas. I appreciate it. You've only found one other nice person? Seems like there's a lot of jerks on YouTube. He's king over all children of pride. Wherefore I pour myself and repent in dust and ashes. Yeah, so I guess it doesn't end well. Well, that's sad. And then it's the book of Psalms in the Bible. But it has a lot of like valuable lessons in it and stuff. The Bible is like, I purposely got a big one because it's hard for me to read sometimes because I see. 43 minutes. Then I got the whole New Testament as Jesus. All the epistles and Paul. Revelation. It's got all these cool maps in the back. I watched a couple lives before on YouTube, but they were mostly people either just sitting there chilling and like talking, or they'd be like spiritual people using cards and stuff. I see. I see what you're saying. First Timothy chapter 2, verse 5. For there is one God and one mediator between God and men, the man Christ Jesus. That's like a super famous verse from the Bible. It's in the New Testament. It's like way back there. I just lost it. Oops. But yeah. One of the other things too is like, the live stream told me that there's like a cap on subscriptions, that like you can only have so many before you have to do, how do I put this? You basically have to make like 1 million videos in order for you to get more and more subscriptions. There's all kinds of weird rules they have about everything. So I'm just kind of navigating this the best that I can. But yeah. What was that? Have you ever had a ghost in your room or kitchen? Yes. But it's okay, because ghosts can't hurt anybody. There's not. I'm actually gonna get up. I'm gonna step outside and grab a drink or something. I'm gonna try to pull this to like 50 minutes, like 4 more minutes or something. But yeah, ghosts can't hurt. They can't do anything. They just float around, and it's actually kind of sad. Let's see. Here. Whatever. Yeah, see how messed up that screen is? Jeez. Get some fresh air. Now I'm totally gone. There's like no light out here. One ghost got angry and started to stress stuff and have a tantrum. I'm scared of the dark. It's okay to be afraid of the dark. Sometimes I'm afraid of the dark too. But it's okay to be afraid, but there's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing that's in the dark can hurt you. Or nothing you think is there, that is to say. What are we at? 48 minutes? Can spirits hurt you? No. No, they cannot. No. They don't. The spirits that exist don't think that way, if that makes sense. It's all really complicated, but it's all you got to worry about is just that answer is no. But tomorrow I'm supposed to, for anyone watching, tomorrow I'm supposed to get my version of the book I wrote in the mail. And then my plan was to do another live and just start like reading that, so that I can like do stuff like this and archive it to have a free audiobook for whatever. Yes, true. But whoever's on, I hope you have a good night and get some rest. I'll see y'all tomorrow.